said, take your son, your only son. And I often thought about how Isaac was his only son, because if you know the story of Abraham, you recognize that Isaac had an older brother. Not by Sarah, but by Hagar. But because Hagar was not the plan of God, God didn't even recognize him. Take your only son, Isaac, and I want you to offer him up as a sacrifice to me. Read the story, because the story goes on and says, and the next day, Abraham prepared himself. He mounted his beast and took with him his child. A son, by the way, that had been promised to Abraham for over 25 years. A son that Abraham waited and waited and waited for God to fulfill his promise. Take that son. I preach today, you might want to get the CD if you're so inclined. I preach today from the subject, why did I get married? I did. You believe me? Didn't I preach from that subject? And I talked about the fact that God is a jealous God, and one of the things that makes God mad is when you love his blessings more than the blessor. So God, testing Abraham, said, take the thing that you've been waiting for. Take the thing that you love dearest in life. The one thing that you know I blessed you with, and without me you wouldn't have had this. I want you to take it and offer it up. That's a sacrifice. And the Bible says Abraham rose up early in the morning, saddled his donkey, took his son Isaac, got some wood, got all the preparations, and journeyed for 3 days until he found Mount Moriah. Mount Moriah. Everybody say Mount Moriah. That's a significant mountain. I say Mount Moriah. A mountain that already had an altar prepared. Mount Moriah. And as they began to walk up the hill, Isaac, the son, notices something. Isaac says to his father, behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? I see everything except the most important thing. Where's the lamb? And I can hear, if this was 2010, I could hear Abraham singing back to his son, everything you need. The Lord has already provided. If y'all waiting on me to preach, I'm already preaching. And the Bible says, as they arrived at the altar site, they prepared the altar, and Abraham bound his son, hands and feet, like he would do any other animal, laid him on the altar. and reared back to kill his own son because God told him to. What would you be willing to do because God told you to? Some of us, only thing God asks us to do is sacrifice just a little bit of time. He reared back to kill his own son. But he heard that same voice. Said, Abraham. Called him twice. I like to think it's because Abraham was in the downstroke. He was getting ready to do it. He was going to do it because God told him to. Tell somebody, you need faith to obey God. See, y'all think of faith as trying to get something from God. Okay, ask God for something and then have faith that God's going to give it to you. You need faith to obey God. Because sometimes the very thing, that's the key to your blessing, is the hardest thing to do. The very thing that's the key to your breakthrough is the very thing God is saying, I need you to give this up. Be willing to give it up. What would you be willing to give up for God? That's another message. God tells him, don't lay your hand upon your son. Verse number 12, for now I know that thou fearest God, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thy only son, from me. And only at that point did Abraham lift up his eyes and saw his provision. After, I'm preaching and somebody don't know it. After he obeyed God, then he saw his provision. Why don't you tell somebody, after you obey God, you will see your provision. See, the reason why you haven't got what you need yet is because you haven't obeyed. I wish you would push your neighbor and say, neighbor, wake up. I'm trying to tell you how to be blessed. After you obey God, then you will see your provision. Yeah. I got to bring this home. I got to bring this home because you all, I think you all get the message here. That word provide is from the word provision. And provision is the combination of two words. Pro and vision. Pro means before time. Vision is sight. So what it means is that God sees before. Am I preaching? Now watch this, watch this, watch this. If God waited until time, then it wouldn't be providing, it would be supplying. See, if God didn't know I was going to need it, and then I got to the point when I needed it and said, God, I need it, and then God's, okay, I'll supply. But provide is God knew you were going to need it before you got there, and so he set it there. that by the time you got there, you saw what. Now, I'm getting ready to close out because I'm feeling my help. I'm feeling my help here. See, what it means is this. God, a few months back, had this one ram to be born. And on this particular day, this one ram got separated from the rest of his family. And he's just wandering off, just looking at stuff. And before he know it, he's caught up in a thicket. And he's just waiting there like, what in the world? Waiting on Abraham to get there. Y'all ain't gonna help me in here. In other words, God set that thing up before Abraham even started out on his journey. I feel like just slapping the devil right now because the devil is trying to tell you that God ain't going to do nothing for you. But when God has already you know that job that you've been praying for? God has already set in motion the termination of the person who's occupying your job. They just got the letter in the mail. They got only 2 more weeks. Y'all ain't gonna help me in here. So there's gonna be a job opening waiting for your resume. Y'all ain't gonna help me. I wish you slapped somebody a high five and said everything you need, he's already provided. Yeah. Y'all sit down, I'm closing. Reverend, can you come here first? Stand right there, face me. Sister Hickman, can you step up? Yes, stand right there. You represent the beginning. Who are you?
The beginning.
You represent the ending. Who are you? You're going to be all right. Even though you're the ending, you're going to be all right. You said it like, I want to be the beginning. The ending. I'm going to tell you why you're going to be all right in a minute. The beginning, the ending. As I look at it, the beginning is to my left. The ending is to my right. Y'all got that? Yes. This is when you're been born. This is when you go to heaven. Now, I'm speaking prophetically because some of y'all ain't ready yet, but I'm speaking that into your life. If you ain't ready, you're going to be ready. So, heaven, I just got here. Are we together now? You are somewhere in the middle. So, Kim, come here. Face the audience, Kim. Kim represents you. Now, where's she at? She in the middle. Because you in the middle of your life. I mean, the only thing about Kim is, and you have to kind of imagine this, every time she turns and looks towards her end, she really can't see anything. Because you can't see the future. But whenever she turns around and looks at her past, oh, she got 20/20 vision. Are y'all with me so far? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, this is the beautiful thing about God. Because God, when he looks at your life, he never looks at it from your beginning. He always looks at your life from the... Now, Georgetta put Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9. I'm trying to preach. Can I get some more preach pastors? Can I? There you go. There you go. That's going to help me. Preach pastor. Okay, Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 8. And this is why God never looks at your life from the beginning. Y'all see this? You see your life? That's when I was born. This is where I am now. This is my end. This is when I finally go to heaven. And it's a whole lot of folk that want to go to heaven, but they never want to get to their end. What does 7 and 8 say? What does it say? See, I told you it was. God says, I want to look where things are better. He's saying that no matter how your life is doing right now, as you approach your end, come on, go with me. I'm approaching my end. I hear God saying things gonna get better. I wish you would high five somebody and say it's gonna get better. It's it is gonna get it is gonna get better. The closer I get to my end, it is gonna get better. My life gonna be better. My money gonna be better. My health gonna be better. It is gonna be better. My marriage gonna be better. My children gonna be better. I'm sorry. Y'all come on back. Y'all come on back. Come on back. I'm almost done. It's 12:20. Don't rush me. Now, Kim is just bebopping along, going towards her end. Not too fast, because you don't want to. Slow it down, baby. Slow it down. Live. Take your time and live. That's why we try to tell the young folks, take your time and live. Now watch this. Now, God is looking at your life. Poor Brother Don. Brother Don said, wait a minute, what about me? God looks at your life from the end, and he sees certain points of your life. He sees from the end that when she gets here, she's going to need a new house. Now he sees it when she's all the way, come on back here. He's looking at it and he sees, on a couple of years, she gonna need a house. So what God does, Mother Hall, he starts setting things in motion. So by the time she gets there, the house is waiting on her. I'm preaching up in here. That's why, Sister Burrs, that's why that's such a prophetic song. Because you all are thinking that because I don't have it now, it hasn't been provided. But God is looking at it from the end. So even though you haven't got there yet, God is saying, I've already provided it. I've already worked it out. I've already given you what you need. I've already blessed you. I've already helped you. I've already touched 3 people and tell them you don't have to wait till the battle is over. You can shout now. Tell them shout now. Tell them shout now. Shout now. I can shout now. I can shout now. It's already provided. I can shout now. It's already done. I can. Stand to your feet.